tasing the police every single day.
Cop facing life in prison after video showed him taser boy riding an ATV killing him. For shooting his taser out of the window of his police cruiser and striking an 8th grader riding on an ATV, a cop is on trial for murder. By Matt Agarist, October 24, 2018. It took nearly 9 months and several petitions by the Detroit Free Press until Michigan State Police, MSP, and Detroit Police allowed the body camera and dash camera footage to be released showing the minutes leading up to and the hours following the tossing murder of Damon Grimes by MSP trooper Mark Bessiner. The 16 hours of recordings show the horror, outrage, and insensitive comments made by many officers on the scene. One video even recorded the moment of his death. Now, Bessiner is finally on trial for his actions. On Monday, a jury was seated in Wayne County Circuit Court to hear the case against Bessiner, who is charged with second-degree murder for tasering the teen on the ATV. As TFTP reported, Bessiner attempted to force Grimes to pull his ATV off of the road by shooting his taser at him. The thoughtless plan backfired when Grimes apparently seized and slammed into the back of a parked pickup truck, killing him. Bessiner's lawyer says he was forced to make a split-second decision when Grimes refused to stop the ATV. The August 2017 killing of the rising 9th grader stunned not only the community but Grimes' family, who immediately began calling for justice. They also filed a $50 million lawsuit against the Michigan State Police and demanded an inquiry into the death of their beloved family member. Bessiner radioed in the incident. He said, "Give us priority, chasing an ATV east on Rossini from Reno. It's a red quad. Black male, black shirt, he's got a pulse, and he's breathing. He's unconscious, he slowed down. We tossed him, and he crashed out." Grimes was riding an all-terrain vehicle on the street when Bessiner, sitting as a passenger in the MSP squad car, fired his taser through the passenger window, hitting Grimes, who then presumably lost control of his ATV and slammed into the back of a parked pickup truck. Grimes was killed as a result of the traumatic brain injury he sustained during the crash. However, he did have a pulse for some time after the accident, but died on the scene and was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. In the video compiled by the Detroit Free Press, some officers voiced insensitivity and others outraged during the teenager's final dying moments. One officer, Detroit Police Officer Kimberly Buckner, can be heard saying, "His pulse is weakening because he was on that fucking thing," after one officer radioed the uncertainty of whether or not Grimes had a pulse any longer. Another officer reported to Buckner what the MSP trooper, Bessiner, had done to the boy, implying the horrific nature of their actions. He told her, "They fucking tossed his ass while he was cruising." Other officers were not so understanding and failed to realize Grimes had just finished the 8th grade. An officer told Buckner, "That's a grown-ass man," he said of Grimes, who was a 6'1", 234-pound teenager. She corrected him saying, "No, he's 15. He's 15 years old." The male officer remarked with what seems to be heartless indifference and disassociation. He said, "He's a badass 15, no sympathy at all for bullshit. Motherfucker wanna be grown, yeah, act grown, you gotta fucking deal with it." Hardly an adult, Grimes was likely expected to make mistakes by the community and his family. Little did he likely suspect a cavalier rogue cop would attempt to tase him as he rode his ATV through the streets. There was some indication Grimes did not even know he was being pursued by the Michigan State troopers. The footage seems to indicate the patrol car's emergency lights were not even on at the time he was tossed. Another reportedly insensitive comment made by a male officer serves to illustrate the us versus the public mentality some cops who were on the scene apparently possess. He said, "Don't run from the state police, you'll get fucked up." Buckner continued to be the voice of reason among the police officers. She can be heard whispering to fellow cops, "They tossed his ass while he was driving, causing him to flip and crash." Tossing anyone from a moving vehicle is a violation of Michigan State Police policy. As a result, County Prosecutor Kim Worthy charged Bessener with murder. As one member of the community remarked, in the days and weeks following the boy's murder, 2 mistakes were made that day. It's true, Grimes should not have been riding his bike on the road. And it's also true Bessener should never have thought about deploying his taser from one moving vehicle to attempt to strike another person on another moving vehicle. One action was a misdemeanor. The other was a felony, allegedly committed by a man who should have been better trained, more understanding, and looking out for the safety of his 8th grade suspect. Either way, it's a senseless tragedy which could have been avoided. Bessener now faces the possibility of life in prison if convicted. Spread the love.
No black shirt. Coming up to Regent. DPD's coming right at him. Through Regent.
He flip. Yep.
Alright, fast.
Moments before this ATV slammed into the back of a parked truck, it was being chased by Michigan State Police, their bumpers just feet apart.
He flip.
Yep. Alright, fast.
Repeating crashing.
After the crash, as we cut to a different angle, you'll notice the state troopers' overhead lights appear to be off.
Start EMS.
EMS will be on the way.
Based on the time code we've added, 24 seconds elapsed before the first flash of lights. That coincides with the first Detroit police officers arriving.
Yeah, he's got a pulse and he's breathing. He's unconscious.
Clear.
2 more Detroit police officers approach.
Oh, 9, he slowed down. We tased him and he crashed out. EMS stepping up.
EMS is on the quick.
There you go from MSP. If you could just maybe have a unit or 2 make it there for moral support. Sounds like it might be a pretty bad one.
The footage you're watching comes from dash cams, body cams, and security cameras. State police didn't give us dash cam videos from the car involved in the chase or from one in a nearby Detroit police car. They also blurred images of the body.
Tony, his pulse is weakening. What's our ETA on EMS?
His pulse is weakening.
I'll find out.
Fucking thing in your chest is there.
You can put MSP 2240 out.
2240, you're out, 1735.
He's breathing, yeah. Let's get his brain in.
Same and grind. Grind. That's really...
That's not good.
That's why he's cruising.
Can you get a mask out of them?
Units to Gratiot and Rossini. EMS is coming from Gratiot and Houston Whittier.
Don't run from the state police to get fucked up.
You want to check pulse again?
Yeah. He had a strong pulse when we got here. It's real faint.
Try to wipe his face a little bit and get that deal with the mask.
I got blood all over this. I can't use it.
Right here.
Okay, units at data, Rossini and Gratiot. Medic should be pulling up in less than a minute.
Tell him to get over here. Christ's sake. Come on, fellas. Is that his phone? Yeah.
As EMS arrives, several Detroit police officers turn off their body cameras. but one officer activates hers.
Should we give them like an escort or something to St. John's? Should we give them an escort to St. John's?
Hell no. They got license items.
Yeah.
We only do that for police.
Okay.
If I also get shot, we
I didn't know they were chasing them forward.
About 10 minutes after the crash, Damon Grimes is taken to St. John Hospital. Doctors pronounce him dead on arrival. He was 15.
That's a grown ass man.
512,
He's 15.
Type 51.
Where's his mom at?
No way. He's a badass 15. I'm sorry, man. No 15 is no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? No 15 is all for bullshit. Motherfucker want to be grown, act grown, and fucking deal with it.
What happened? What happened?
They tased his ass while he was driving, causing him to flip in the crash.
Michigan State Police condemned Trooper Besner's actions, calling them criminal. He resigned from his job and now faces charges of second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter.
Now they want to wipe the blood off. They killed my little cousin out here on Rice City and Grass. Look at the bike, look at the bike. Chasing my little cousin, hit him from the back.
The Grimes family filed a lawsuit following the teen's death. He was just days shy from beginning his freshman year of high school.
Unbelievable. 15 years old, killed by the state police. Unbelievable.
Our final piece of audio comes from a canvass of the neighborhood conducted after the incident. Two Michigan State Police investigators talk about their conversations with residents.
This last chick that I just entered gets it. She's a couple years younger than me. She's like, he drives around here recklessly all the time. Why didn't he just stop? She's like, all these people in here are wanting to talk about protesting the police. He drives this neighborhood recklessly all the time. Why didn't he just stop? Like, well, it's what we say, but people don't feel that way at times for whatever reason. So,
yeah, two people made bad decisions on this one.
yeah, and that's what I told people. I said, look, hey, it could have been handled differently on both sides, as far as I'm concerned. And had I been out here chasing him, I'm not judging by what he did, but I guarantee I would have done it differently. Guaranteed I would have done it differently.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH. I am using any video here with under fair use if you have criticism, reporting, teaching, etc. And please donate. I do not make money from YouTube, and there are different ways to donate in the video links. Thanks.